Everyone claims that restaurant salsa is the best, but I think we can make it even better at home. Hey there, I'm Len in Brazil, and you are watching Evolving Table, where we make good food that's also good for you. And today we're going to be whipping up some roasted tomato salsa, as well as a tomatillo salsa verde. But that's not all. We're also going to be running both of these by our in-house salsa expert. I know, it's just the hubby, but he does happen to eat like an entire jar of salsa almost daily. So if you're ready to get to cooking, then come on in, y'all, and let's get started. For both of these salsa recipes, we'll be roasting the vegetables to really bring out their natural sweetness. So go ahead and preheat your oven to 450 degrees. We'll first start off by making the more classic roasted tomato salsa. Since tomatoes make up the large majority of the salsa, the type you use absolutely matters. Both Roma and vine-ripened tomatoes work exceptionally well when making homemade salsas. They have plenty of meat on them without being too watery, while they also pack a good bit of flavor. Organic tomatoes also have more nutritional benefits and a bit more flavor than conventional ones, so that's what I'll be using here today. You can change it up and try using beefsteak, Campari, cherry, or even grape tomatoes. If using smaller tomatoes, you will need to adjust the roasting time so they don't burn. Make sure you weigh these out until you have exactly 1 3/4 pounds of tomatoes. If you use too many in your salsa, it will end up tasting too tomatoey. After they've been weighed, rinse them under cool running water, and then pat them dry. If you're using larger tomatoes, you'll want to slice them in half lengthwise. Doing this ensures they cook up at a similar rate as the peppers and onions. Place the tomatoes flat side down on a large 11 by 15 inch baking sheet. Make sure to use a lighter colored baking sheet and not a darker colored one so the vegetables don't burn too quickly. Once you've got all of your tomatoes prepared, it's time to move on to those peppers. You can either choose to use jalapeno peppers or serrano peppers. Jalapeno peppers are slightly milder in flavor, while serrano peppers are normally a bit spicier. Generally, if you use one pepper, you'll end up with a mild salsa, and 2 peppers will give you a medium heat salsa. No matter which type of pepper you choose to use, it's always a good idea to take a little taste test just to double check their heat level before you add them in. I'm a little nervous. Oh man! Oh my goodness, that's spicy. I'll be right back. Oh, maybe don't do that, or at least do that at your own risk. But I do know that the hubby loves really spicy salsa, so I'm still going to be using 2 of these hot peppers today. Capsaicin is the chemical that gives these peppers so much heat, and most of this chemical is actually concentrated around the seeds and the ribs. So if you want the flavor without too much heat, you'll first want to remove the seeds before roasting. To do this, trim the stem end from the pepper, and then cut it in half lengthwise. Using a spoon with a relatively sharp edge, scoop out all of the seeds and the ribs. You can always save these to add back in at the end if you want some extra heat. Place the pepper halves on the baking sheet along with the tomatoes skin side up. Next, grab either a medium-sized white or sweet onion. I'd avoid using a yellow onion since their flavor can be a bit overwhelming. Trim and remove the ends, peel the outer layer, and then cut it into quarters. Place the quartered onion onto the baking dish, along with 4 to 6 unpeeled garlic cloves. There's no need to peel the garlic before roasting. It will slide right off once they're cooked. Drizzle 2 tablespoons of olive or avocado oil over all of the vegetables. Rub it into their skin, making sure to lift them up slightly so a little bit gets underneath. Roast the vegetables in a preheated 450-degree oven for 15 minutes. Remove the garlic cloves at this point so they don't burn, and then continue roasting the other vegetables for another 10 to 15 minutes. You'll know they're done when the tomato skins begin to brown. Before we turn those roasted tomatoes into salsa, I want to first go over the different appliances that you can use to do this. Oh man, I think I still have some jalapeno on my lip, it's so spicy. You'll either want to use a larger food processor or a larger high-speed blender such as a Vitamix. A food processor is recommended since it's easier to pulse the salsa and get it to your desired consistency. But a blender may also be used if that's what you have on hand. Once the vegetables are roasted, add them to the food processor along with any oil or juice that is on the baking sheet. And don't forget to peel those garlic cloves. To do this, simply peel back a part of the skin and then press until the clove pops out. Remove cilantro leaves from their stems until you have half a cup of packed cilantro. Add it to the processor along with 1 tablespoon of fresh lime juice, 1 teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of paprika, 1/4 teaspoon of cumin, and 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Pulse the ingredients 10 to 20 times and then scrape down the sides of the bowl. Continue pulsing until the salsa reaches your desired consistency, about 40 to 50 times. You can turn it on to full speed here, but I find it's easier to pulse it so you can still keep it a little chunky. Oh my goodness, it's so good. This next recipe we're gonna be making is super similar to this one, except we're going to be using tomatillos instead of tomatoes. Even though these aren't technically tomatoes, you can often find them in your produce section next to the larger tomatoes. They'll normally come with a husk around them that must be removed before eating. To do this, pinch any excess husk at the base of the tomatillo with your pointer finger and thumb, and then pull it to tear the husk away from the tomatillo. Continue peeling the papery husk towards the stem until the entire tomatillo is exposed. With all of the husk and the stem in between your thumb and pointer finger, pinch the stem and twist it slightly to remove it. Rinse and scrub the tomatillo under cold running water to remove all of the sticky coating, and then dry them thoroughly. Repeat this until you have 1 3/4 pounds of husked and rinsed tomatillos. Depending on the size of your tomatillos, you'll either need to cut them in half or leave them whole. Since mine are pretty small, I'm just going to roast them whole today. Place the tomatillos flat side down if they're cut, or stem side up if they're whole, on a large, lightly colored 11 by 15 inch baking sheet, along with 1 to 2 jalapeño or serrano peppers that have been seeded and cut in half, 4 to 6 unpeeled garlic cloves, 1 medium-sized white or sweet onion that has been cut into quarters. Drizzle 2 tablespoons of oil over all of the vegetables and rub it in on the tops and underneath. Roast the vegetables in a 450-degree oven for 20 to 25 minutes, or until the tomatillo skins begin to brown. And don't forget to pull those garlic cloves out after about 15 to 20 minutes so they don't burn. Add the roasted tomatillos, onion, peppers, peeled garlic cloves, and any oil on the baking sheet to a large food processor, along with half a cup of packed cilantro, 1 tablespoon of fresh lime juice, 1 teaspoon of salt to taste, and 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Pulse the ingredients 10 to 20 times, and then scrape down the sides of the bowl. Continue pulsing until the salsa reaches your desired consistency, about 40 to 50 times. You can serve it up immediately, or store it in the refrigerator for a few hours for even more flavor. All right, we've got our in-house salsa expert here.
That's me.
My hubby, Cole Brazil, and we're gonna be blindfolding you today.
Come on.
Because they kind of all look a little different. I don't want to mess up your beautiful hair. Okay, he's totally blindfolded, and we've got all of our salsas lined up here. Here we go. Chip number 1, or salsa number 1, coming in.
Little Verde salsa, not too bad. Liked it a lot, actually. Delish.
Okay, salsa number 2. This is the second salsa verde. Okay, here we go. Coming in.
That one had a little kick, but it was a bit vinegary, a little bitter. Number 1's definitely better. Smooth. Got a little sweetness of the fresh tomatillos in there.
Number 1 was indeed the homemade salsa. Let's move on to the more, I don't know, I think this one might be a really close call because this is like a oh, you just want some chips, huh? Okay, here is salsa round number 2. This is a more classic, like roasted salsa. There we go.
Classic tomato-based salsa, not bad. Lacking, just lacking a couple things. Mostly flavor. Okay, tastes like tomato sauce, yeah.
Bowl number 4, going in.
That's a good one. Yeah, really like it. Doesn't have too much kick, which I can always use more kick. Got a nice little fresh onion in there I can taste. Mildly roasted, not too roasted. Delicious.
Okay, so which one was your winner? Bowl number 3 or bowl number 4?
Number 4.
Woo! All right. I mean, I think you can tell by my reaction.
So bright now when you take that off. Blinded by the light.
But I guess we would say both of the homemades.
Much better.
Looks like we've got some salsa that would rival just about any restaurants. And if you want a few more Mexican-inspired dishes, make sure you check out these other easy homemade recipes. Thanks so much for hanging out. I'll see you in the next one. Stick on in.